Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Hairy Muppet, and we are going to be casting the second game in the quarterfinal series between LucifroN from Mouse Sports and Jaedong from Evil Geniuses. And you just saw this awesome countdown coming on. That's part of the game heart interface. I talked about that a little bit in the first game, and that is what's showing us all this awesome stuff down the bottom. Unfortunately, it's not just a freestanding interface that I can use on every single replay. It's basically set in with the actual game, and I don't think it would work with any replay. But I'll give it a try, but I don't think it will. But anyway, we are going to be going on game 2. Game number 1. Jaedong did an excellent job against LucifroN, man. He had the muter-ling combination, muters, lings, banelings all over the place, and LucifroN, he did a good job. He did a good job. He had a bunch of marines going down. He was doing very well against the lings, but he was sort of trading off against the lings. The banelings were constantly hitting him. He wasn't doing super good work, and the muters were pretty much going free around the map. LucifroN tried. He tried really hard to kill the muters, but unfortunately muters can outrun marines any day of the week, and he just went around sniping bases like muters are so good at. And the Terran player, he didn't get out tanks or Hellions or anything like that, mainly tanks to deal with the banelings and lings, so his marine force continued to get taken out constantly, and yeah, that was just not good. And meanwhile, where is the bloody... Sorry guys, why am I not hearing any music? Music is on. I know it's low, but I should still be hearing some music. I'm not hearing any music, and yeah, it's not good. Where's the music? I'm just going to leave it now, because I'm assuming the music is going to come out, and meanwhile we'll just have to listen to the music of this hatchery being coming out, which is, I don't know, I'm not sure if I really appreciate that sort of music, but it was making some sort of sound before. Where's the music? I don't know. Anyway, music, whatever. We're going on. We're having game number 2. Game number 1 was awesome. Game number 2 is going to be just as awesome. And I know that because it's not a 6-minute long game. Where is the music? Alright, sorry guys. The sound, we're going to... There we go. May have been a bug or something. Whatever, it feels too quiet. I know you guys can hear me talking and you're like, it's so loud, gotta turn down my speakers. But it feels quiet to me without the sound. I don't know why there's no sound playing, and it's starting to irk me a little bit. But here we go. We do have Queen, a bunch of lings coming down, the SCV going around. Do we have a Reaper? No, it does. It looks like LucifroN is, yeah, he's not going for his typical Reaper first build. He's just going for a Marines to start off with, so it looks like he's going to go for defending this base nice and early, and yeah, that should be pretty awesome. You'll get up things up a little bit faster, and the Reaper really didn't do that much. I mean, man, is this Ling even going to catch this SCV? I think it's catching it a little bit. I can't actually see their speed now. Well, that's one thing I don't like about this interface. At least with the other one, I missed most of it. I could still see their speed. Anyway, I think that SCV is going to die. Maybe, I don't know. He might survive. He's a little bit faster. Another guy. Let's. All right, if this Ling comes in. Oh, now he's got 2 lings. I think he's still going to survive though. Oh, barely survived. So there we go. If these 2 lings had been chasing him as well, that would have been awesome, but they were scouting off somewhere else. And the Marine hit squad, going to go in there, and yeah, doing some very nice micro, just completely wiping out those lings. Not taking a hit, but I guess those lings weren't even trying to attack him. And yeah, this music, I'm not going to say anything about it anymore, because soon the sounds of death and destruction will come raining out, and we won't need to worry about the music anymore. But yeah, I am quite sad that there's no music coming out, and we'll have to see how to fix that for the next game. But going on here, we do have a bunch of Hellions coming out of this factory, and that's going to be pretty awesome. He's building a... See, I can't even see what this is. Oh, it's a starport. But usually there's a display down there, and that's not good. See, you should at least be able to click on something and see a display. Alright, so that's a downside for this interface. I was saying how awesome this interface was with all these stats down the bottom, but if you click on a building you can't even see. If you're going against a Protoss player or a Zerg player, that's even worse, because you can't tell at all until the building's finished. At least with Terran players you can sort of half tell while it's being built, but yeah, not that good, not that good. Not happy with that, but these Marines going to go around, they're going to do a flank. I don't know if he's got enough. He might be able to take one queen down, but he'll lose quite a lot of units. Bunch of more Hellions coming down. Maybe they're trying to get the queens out of position so the Hellions can run in and burn some guys. Because it's actually quite funny. I see so many guys building Hellions, but I never see a suicide rush to go and burn stuff. I guess they don't want to lose their Hellions. Because, yeah, I mean, they can use them for scouting for the rest of the map. They're so damn fast. But here we go. Hellbats, Medivacs. So now we know LucifroN's game plan for game number 2. He didn't use Hellbats last time and he lost, so he's going to go back to Hellbat tech. We've seen him do that in a previous tournament and it worked very well for him, so now he's going to go ahead and he's going to do it again, and these Hellions just going to basically run around and look at stuff and try and get past. That might have been an opportunity there, but the Hellions a bit out of position. Go on, make a move. He's trying to get creep chimers. The queen's out of there. The queen's run away. Move in. Get in there. He's not going for it. There are more queens inside though, but there's one less queen that he has to get past. Here we go. You're going to go over there. Bunch of these guys dropping down. They're not dropping down in the mineral line though. I see. He's going to set them down here. So he's going to get them all down in the one go. And these Lings just get the hell out of there. They do not want any of those guys. It's moving the workers around, but the workers going around straight towards the Hellions. The Lings trying to get us around. Managed to get a few of those. Actually, they didn't. He just put them back up in the medevac. Excellent job there. These guys just chasing drones. The Hellbats keeping the queens occupied. Hellbats extremely good at not dying. They stay alive for so long. Finally, the queen's getting around to taking out the Hellions, but there's just so many workers been lost. I mean, yeah, that's just a massive, massive amount. I think, actually, blue. The Zerg player's blue. Okay, so yeah, he just got down to about even, so he must have been quite a bit ahead. But I think he lost like 8, 9 drones there. Yeah, something crazy like that. And here we go, a bunch more Hellbats coming out, so it's going to be Hellbat City, 2 more Medivacs, and dropping all 4 of these Hellbats in the mineral line is going to be completely crazy. He might have seen them though on the creep, so he might be thinking, oh, they're about to show up. He'd love to get in here, but he's going to go for the main again. Overlord spots are coming in, so he's got to have a couple of seconds to run the workers away. There they go. But the Terran player anticipates it. Goes in, does a bunch of damage, a whole bunch of Banelings coming around. Banelings not going to be exceptionally good versus these guys. They just got too much health. And yeah, they all just get loaded up. The Queen's going to chase them. Not quite going to be able to take that medevac down. I thought I heard music there, but not quite. Oh, well, there's just some sort of ticking or something. Whatever. Bunch more Hellbats coming out, and this is going to be very, very good early game strategy to try and keep the worker count down for the Zerg player. He needs to start sweeping into this third base now, like double teaming, and these guys going in. The Queen's still continuing to attack him though. He's trying to move him out a little bit. There, he drops him right down. He might lose a medevac though, but the Queen's just going to have to run away, and one Queen is going to go down. No, there's a transfuse coming down, so awesomely timed transfuse. He's got to get away from there. The medevac's too low on health, but he's going to drop him off one last time. And the drones doing a beautiful job of getting the hell out of there as soon as possible. Ling's going to come in, and here we go. The Muta's coming down again, so it is going to be Mutaling again for the Zerg player. And that Hellbat harass is pretty much over at the moment, because he can continue to go in. Well, these guys, that was a bit of a mess up, but yeah, once the Mutas are out, man, the Hellbat harass is not going to be a very viable option anymore. It's still an option, but it's not very viable. It is going to meet with ruin 99% of the time from now on. Although this Evo chamber is still not very happy with his lot. Oh, not quite going to get those guys. Damn, they regenerate quite fast actually. The Muta's taking them all out, and he's continuing to send more Hellbats in. So these guys just not getting the memo. But there's a bunch more Marines being built at the moment, so yeah, that should be fine. He's starting to get shields, so he does realise, alright, this guy's got Mutas out in the field, I need to get Marines, and he's going to start to group up these attack groups. So he's not going to just completely stop going for Hellbats, but he's going to mix in a large amount of Marines as well. Bunch of Mutas though, he's done a very good job at getting a large amount of Mutas out. They're going to go straight into the main base. Not that many missile turrets. He's starting to build one now, but that's not very straight up timed. One medevac goes down very quickly to the Mutas. The Mutas do a jig and a jag and they go over here, but there's a missile turret already there. So that's not going to be good for him. He's going to have to run out. Another missile turret here. That was a very, very big mistake from the Zerg player, man. He just went left, right, and left again, and he ended up facing 3 missile turrets right in the center of him. So not very fun for him. But he did lose a couple of Mutas out there, and he's just going to go away. He's trying to probe the defenses of the Terran player. He sees some Mutas out there, but he says, alright, right in the middle there, I'm pretty safe. And he can start to do some damage here, but there's a missile turret up here. And it'll only take the Terran player about a minute to build a missile turret there, and then it'll be fine. These guys over here waiting for this base to go down, and the Mutas do not want to be getting too close to this attack force because they will lose quite a lot, but they're just going to be moving out. And they did a nice bit of harass. Lost some units, but they got a beautiful scout off, and they did get a couple of units, I think. There's 4th base going down, so the Zerg player, he lost a few Mutas workers before, but he's gotten right back up there. He's doing an awesome job, and his economy is in extremely good state. But then again, so is the Terran player. Terran player going for a 4th base. Is this going to be a planetary? I really can't tell because of this interface, man. I do not like this interface. I like some of it, but some parts I just don't like. I can't tell if this is an orbital. I'm going to say planetary. I think this is a planetary based on how it's building. And there. So yeah, planetary. And you would want to have a planetary because this ramp is so open. Even without these rocks dead, this ramp is so open, this ramp is open. You need a planetary here. An orbital would just not survive to Ling attacks very long. But here we go. Zerg doing an exceptional job of his creep spread around the middle. And he's going all the way up to this watchtower. A nice drop in here with a bunch of Marines. No Hellbats, I think, just Marines. They're going to take out one Muta, but the other bunch of Mutas coming here, the main group coming in, and they're going to be doing all sorts of groovy damage in there, and that's going to be awesome. One flyer attack, just finishing off now. And here we go, a bunch of Lings and Banelings coming in here, preparing to attack this base, I can only assume. He might be planning an Overlord drop, but I don't think so. Oh, there is one Overlord over here, so maybe it's an Overlord drop, but I think it is just a straight up attack. Medevac with a bunch of Hellbats, I assume, going over there. And yeah, he's going to go around for flank. He may have seen these forces, but I think the Mutas did see this Medevac. He's going to run around here, go straight past some Overlords, so yeah, the Zerg player has to worry about it. Meanwhile, the Terran player is going to take advantage of this Medevac being seen to wipe out some creep tumors, sort of stop this spread. And yeah, that's going to be awesome for him. Meanwhile, the Zerg going up the flank. He's going to try and cut him off, or maybe just go for the 4th base. He might be okay here if he repairs this. There's 4 missile turrets there, so those Mutas are going to have a very, very tough time. The Banelings coming in though. Banelings targeting the workers, not targeting the planetary fortress. And those workers all died. That was absolutely, absolutely brutal. Mutas going to try and zigzag away, trying to get out of here. They managed to find an opening of sorts, and they're going to make it away relatively safely. This base going down, and that was a very bad hit for the Terran player, who's continuing to chase the Mutas though, knocking down a couple of them, but really it was the Banelings that did all the damage there, and he was not prepared for that Baneling incursion. Lings he might have been able to deal with, but the Banelings just so bad versus those workers. And here come the Banelings. They're going to go into this 3rd base. There's some buildings stopping them though, so they'll have to kill the buildings. And they lose about 1/3 of their Banelings doing that, but he can just roll in here, take out all the workers, which is what he's going to do. Meanwhile, there's a force moving in here, putting on the offensive. He's got some Hellbats as well, and he is going to be doing an awesome job going in there, chasing away the Mutas, keeping them on the defensive. These forces coming in here, I think the Banelings took a lot of SCVs out there. He's going to wipe out the rest, but some reinforcements in the Terran play should be enough to see that out. Bailey's coming in here though, and this is going to be the test. He does a nice split, but he still loses a very large amount of forces. These Marines going to reinforce it. They had an opportunity to take out the Mutas there, but he's losing so many Marines to the Baneling forces. And man, excellent job there by LucifroN. He took out all but 2 Mutalisks there. But eventually the Ling harassed, just like last game. The Lings and the Banelings just doing so much damage to him. And just like last game, the Zerg player is just shutting down his economy time after time. Fourth base has been taken down. The third base has been almost completely wiped out. He's back down to 42 versus 88 workers. So he's halved his worker count the Zerg player has. And if you've seen the first game, you know this is deja vu all over again. It's exactly what happened the first game. And I will admit that LucifroN is doing a much better job at taking care of the mutas. He went down there with the Hellbats and he did a bit better. But still, it's pretty much the same old, and I think he's going to go down again. I think there's an attack on the fourth and the third base that's just so effective, and he did not have anything to really take care of it. He's either got an army at his base, or he's got an army out there attacking the Zerg. And he did a lot better attack on the Zerg player this time, but he just had no hope of defending his bases while he was out there. So the Zerg all over the place quite easily with the mutas and lings, and the Terran player takes him half an hour to get from one side of the map to the other, and meanwhile half of his bases go down. So that is exactly how this mutaling is working. And yeah, the Terran player, man, he's I'm going to say he's pretty screwed at the moment. There's not really much he can do anymore. He's yeah, I'm almost 100% sure that he has lost the game at this point. This base going down. There's a lot of missile turrets, but he might just go for it. He might just go for the missile turrets, take them all out. He only has to take 2, then he can back up over there and hit this thing in safety, but he is going to take out the other 4. And meanwhile, a bunch of lings going in, taking this base. LucifroN doesn't even bother to lift it up. He knows he's pretty much lost, I think, or maybe he's just not paying attention. He's got most of his attention over here. Medevac slacking off. They should be healing these guys, but they're not quite doing it. And the Marines, they're still a fairly decent group, but Bailings and Lings coming in here. I mean, he can afford 1,000,000 lings, or not 1,000,000 lings, but he can afford a decent number of lings. And look at how many he's got. 24 lings, 9 Bailings. That's more than enough to take out these guys. They've got to try and stim as fast as they can, take out the Bailings while they're still being built. And he did an excellent job, but the reinforcing lings coming out. And yeah, just going nuts. And man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Completely wiping these guys out. I don't know if he knows about the Widow Mines, but the Overseer's coming over ASAP. And yeah, they all get taken out. Meanwhile, these guys get taken out. And Jaedong going in there with a mutaling formation, a mutaling attack. And the Terran player really not able to deal with it that well. He didn't go for tanks, which would be my guess, versus the lings and the Bailings. However, without tanks, he still did a pretty good job, but I think he just was countered. I mean, the Bailings versus Marine Marauder is a definite counter. He had some Hellbats, but he didn't have a super large amount. Maybe if he had a super large amount of Hellbats, like half of his ground army was Hellbats, maybe he would have done better, but he needed all those Marines to deal with the mutas, and yeah, it's just all over the place. But eventually, the mutaling attack from our Zerg player just went in there. He did what needed to be done, and he got some awesome hits off with the mutas, taking down the Terran's 3rd and 4th base again and again and again, and not much the Terran player could really do about that, because, yeah, his army was just so slow, and it took him ages to go over to the Zerg, attack him, and then go back to defend his base, and by then the base was wiped out. So, again, no Widow Mines defending the bases, man. I really wanted to see that in the previous game, and we didn't see it last game, we didn't see it this game, but tip in the future. For me, I can't really give tips to LucifroN because he is an awesome player and he's way better than I am, but tips for anybody trying to duplicate LucifroN's play: get some Widow Mines at your expansions if you're facing mutas. See exactly how they do, because I'd be interested to know how well they work. Maybe the splash damage wipes out all your workers and it's not worth it. Maybe all the mutas die and you barely lose any. I can't say, but it'd be awesome to see. And that is going to be quarter-final number 1 finished off. And Jaedong from the Evil Geniuses clan is going to move on, and he is going to go ahead and move on to the semi-finals. We do not know who he is going to be facing yet, but we are going to find that out in the very next set of quarter-finals. So thank you very much for watching this game, and this is xhairymuppet. I hope you have enjoyed it.